This video is a strategy guide contest submission. This video is a strategy guide contest submission. Hey you! Yeah you, I bet you wanted to get into Zenless Zone Zero after you saw the hot mommies, Billy the Kid, and the Bangboo! Now I bet you're wondering, how do I even get started? Or, if you do get started, what the freak do I do? What with the waifus, the husbandos, and the Bangboo? Well, look no further, friends, because I, yours truly, am here to give you some tips and tricks on how to get started in Zenless Zone Zero. So this beginner guide is mainly going to be talking about places that you'll be going to frequently as a beginner in Zenless Zone Zero, as well as how to upgrade your agents and upgrading your Bangboo. Disclaimer: this is a generalized tips and tricks beginner's guide for Zenless Zone Zero players. Because when you first play the game will give you tutorials on how to do everything, but it can be a bit overwhelming, so I'm here to just break it down a bit more. Alright guys, to start us off, we're going to be going over locations. First stop in New Eridu City is 6th Street. The first stop on 6th Street is the Random Place store. This store is where Wise and Belle, our protagonists, live. Upon entering the Random Place store, players will be greeted by the Bangboo 18 behind the register. Players that interact with Bangboo 18 will have a prompt appear where you can choose one of your agents that you own, of course, to promote the store using the various videotapes within the Random Place store. Players that take advantage of this feature with Bangboo 18 can receive Denny's in-game once the promotion ends. The promotion usually lasts one real-world day, so players can receive the Denny's the following day. The next area in the Video Play store is the staff room where you can find the video archives. In the video archives, you can view the various agents' stories. And I'm not gonna lie, the videotape covers are very unique in terms of art and style. Wait a minute. Back up a bit. You can relive the main storyline through Faith and Story, and you can view the special episodes that have been released for the game, such as Jane Doe's Undercover R&B and Shukishiro Yanagi's Virtual Revenge. The next stop on this tour of the staff room is the Hollow Deep Dive. This is where you will be doing your story commissions, exploration commissions, and combat commissions. For those of you that missed TV mode from the old Zenless Zone Zero versions, never fear, they've added a new function called Array Mode, where you can relive TV mode in your exploration commissions and story commissions. Located next to the Hollow Deep Dive is your errands. Errands are basically dailies that you do for Zenless Zone Zero whenever you log in daily. This includes read a weekly and any other objectives that you need to fulfill for the following day. So next up after our errands is the workbench. Now, I'm not gonna lie guys, it took me a while to find where the workbench was. It was elusively hidden. It's across from the Hollow Deep Dive. Inside the workbench, you can access your partner archives, proxy handbook, Faithin's database, intelligence, and the Hollow Codex. Curious to know what's in each and every one of those files? Well, if you want to find out, play the game because there is too much information in each and every one of those folders to even cover in this video. But hey, at least you'll know where to go if you need to access them. The next stop after the workbench is your room, which is located on the 2nd floor of the Random Play store. Upon entering your room, you can change how the interior looks by interacting with your display stand and your memory board. Now we're finished looking inside the Random Play store, now let's actually see what's on 6th Street. The first stop after exploring the Random Play store is Howl's Newsstand. Players can interact with Howl to scratch a scratch card for a chance to win prizes such as Denny's or Polychrome, as well as checking on the latest happenings in New Eridu City. The next stop after Howl's newsstand is General Chop's Noodle House. Here, players can buy a noodle bowl to give their squads buffs when tackling tough commissions in the Hollow Deep Dive. Make note that the buff you get from those noodle bowls will only last you for 3 commissions in the Hollow Deep Dive. Once you've done your 3 commissions, you'll have to go back to General Chop to buy another noodle bowl to give your squad another buff. The next stop after General Chop's Noodle House is the coffee shop. Here, the player can buy a cup of coffee to recharge their battery so that they can farm for more materials. Make note that players can only buy 1 cup of coffee a real-world day, and also that there are 2 selections for the type of coffee you can choose. One is just regular charge, while the other one buffs up your enemy cards when you're farming for materials. The next stop after the coffee shop is Box Galaxy. Here, players can buy W engines to power up their agents. Next up after Box Galaxy, we have 1-for-1 Convenience Store. Here, players can get their C-rank materials, B-rank materials, and A-rank materials. Also, before we leave 1-for-1 Convenience Store, did you know that you can buy cat food at 1-for-1 Convenience Store as a C-rank material? Cat food is used to build trust with the cat Inky in 6th Street, so there's a little tidbit that you know now. Moving on from 1-for-1 Convenience Store, our next stop on 6th Street is Bardic Needle. Here, players can pull for drive discs, or as it says in the game, tune for drive discs. When you pull for your drive discs, or do a tune partition as the game says, you will hear a special tune accompanied for the drive disc you're tuning for. Every drive disc has their own tune, so feel free to do tune partitions with different types of drive discs to hear unique sounds. Finally, our last stop on our 6th Street tour is Officer Mew Mew. Officer Mew Mew is New Eridu's public security mascot, and by doing some of the objectives that Officer Mew Mew requires of you, you can receive Mew Mew medals. So that pretty much wraps up all the places that I wanted to show you guys in 6th Street. So we're going to be moving on to another location called Lumina Square, and I'll be showing you where the HIA Club is. Upon entering Lumina Square, just keep going straight until you see a massive structure on your right surrounded by flags. Yes, that's where the HIA Club is on the map. And it took me a bit to find it. I am not spatially aware in the game. Upon entering the HIA Club, you can interact with Bertha to grind for basic materials for your agents, W engines, and drive discs. On the other side of the desk, you can interact with Lila to grind for materials to upgrade your agent's core skills. Another area that players will frequent is the Scott Outpost. Scott Outpost is a very small area, but there's so much to do here. Upon entering Scott Outpost's interior, you'll be met with Shield Defense, Hollow Zero, Notorious Hunt, Routine Cleanup, and right outside the interior of Scott Outpost is Deadly Assault. So yeah, you get what I mean. It's a small area with lots to do, and to keep players busy. Also, my mic's this way. Also, just know that it's plenty of opportunities to grind for Polychrome, to pull for all your favorite characters, especially with Astra coming out in 1.5. Yeah, you guys should totally pull for Astra in 1.5. Okay, we have covered all the places that I think personally that beginners in Zenless Zone Zero should keep an eye on when starting out for the first time in the game. Now, we're going to move on to something more complicated. Upgrading your agents. You can access your agent menu by pressing this button on the screen, or navigate to it using your controller. Whichever method, you'll get there. Upon opening the agent menu, you can browse all of the agents you currently have. And you could enjoy some really nice animations. Okay, so now we're going to use Hoshimi Miyabi as an example on how to upgrade an agent. So when you select an agent, this screen pops up. The two things you should take note on the screen is the level and the cinema mindscape in the lower left corner of the screen. So to level up your agent, you're going to need something called investigator logs, which then you put towards your level. Upon accessing the cinema mindscape, players can see the amazing abilities agents can have. And yes, I know, the artwork's amazing! To unlock the amazing abilities that your agent can have, you're going to need an item known as an agent focus item. You can attain these by pulling duplicates of said agent in your gacha pulls. Oh, and by the way, this is what an agent focus item looks like. But since we're using Miyabi as an example, just replace Sokaku's face with Miyabi's face. Next up in upgrading your agent is skills. Make note of the alphabet on the top and the icons below the alphabet. So the alphabet that you guys are seeing right here, this represents your core skill. And then these icons right here are your attack, dodge, assist, special, and ult. So in order to upgrade your agent's core skill, you're going to need Denny's, materials from Lila's expert challenges, and materials from the Notorious Hunt at the Scott Outpost. So to upgrade your agent's basic attack, dodge, assist, special, and ult, you simply need to go to Bertha at the HIA Club and grind for tactical chips. Hoshimi Miyabi is an ice attribute, so we really just need the Ice Tactical Chip. Again, this is just a general comprehensive introduction for Zenless Zone Zero beginners. I'm simply stating where to find the materials, as well as how to use the materials when upgrading the agent, so that way, when it's time to upgrade the agent, you'll have a general idea on how to upgrade the agent. Oh yeah, fun fact, if you want to figure out what your agent's core skill is, you can click on this icon here to view what the core skill is. Oh my goodness, it's a science thesis! Moving on to equipment, here players can equip or remove a W engine and equip or remove drive discs. And before you ask anything, yes, I did CM6 Miyabi, and yes, I did completely overclock her W engine, Hailstorm Shrine. I am a Leviathan among whales. To level up your agent's W engine, you can head on over to the HIA Club to obtain W engine batteries, W engine power supplies, and or W engine energy modules through combat simulations from interacting with Bertha. Here's what the W engine experience materials look like. They're the same, except they have different colors. You can also obtain plating agents from the combat simulations to level up your drive discs. Here's what the different plating agents look like. They're the same, but with different colors. Okay, now it's time to wrap this introduction to Zenless Zone Zero up with our final topic, Bangboos. Remember when I implied that we were done with 6th Street? We're not. I completely forgot about Enzo's remodeling shop, which is perfectly fine. Enzo's remodeling shop is related to the topic of Bangboos. So, thanks, past Godfrey, for setting me up for this point in time. You're welcome, future Godfrey, all according to Keikaku. Located right next to the Random Play store and across from Bardic Needle is Enzo's remodeling shop. Here, players can view all the Bangboo that they have acquired over the course of their time in Zenless Zone Zero. And I'm gonna tell you right now that Enzo's remodeling shop is the only way and the only place in the game to access your Bangboos. I'm serious. The game will tell you this, but when you dispatch your squad onto the field, it can be accompanied by a Bangboo, and the Bangboo can aid the squad in battle. So I bet you're wondering to yourself, how do I get the Bangboo experience materials to level up my Bangboo? And I bet you're thinking, obviously you go to the HIA Club and talk to Bertha and then do the combat simulations to obtain the experience materials, right? Wrong. You actually get the Bangboo experience materials from participating in the Lost Void and the Withered Domain in Hollow Zero. Yep. You have to get the Bangboo experience materials from participating in Hollow Zero missions. And the best part? You're capped on the amount of Bangboo experience materials you can get every week. So use them wisely. In Enzo's remodeling shop, you can level up your Bangboo, increase its star rating, and check out its stats. Now, if you're curious on how to increase the star rating on your Bangboos, it's very similar to the cinema mindscapes of your agents and overclocking your W engine. You simply need to get duplicates of the Bangboo in your gacha pulls. Speaking of W engines, I completely forgot to mention earlier in the video when we were talking about W engines on how to increase its star rating. Can you guess how to increase its star rating? That's right, you gotta get duplicates of it in your gacha pulls. It's been a long day, I'm sorry for forgetting to mention it earlier in the video. I also want to mention that I really do enjoy the animation of switching Bangboos and Inzo's remodeling shop. It's pretty funny to see the Bangboos knock each other off the workbench. My favorite animation thus far is Nightboo and Brawlerboo just fighting for the workbench. It's so adorable. So we did it. We talked about locations, we talked about how to upgrade your agents, and we talked about Bangboos. However, there is one last thing we need to talk about that I didn't state at the beginning of the video, totally because I didn't forget to do it during the video editing process. Totally. It's ascending your agents, your W engine, and your Bangboo. To ascend your agents and W engines, or in layman's terms, raise the level cap for the agents and the W engines, you can actually head on over to the HIA Club and interact with Bertha to do combat simulations to get components and certification seals. Certification seals are for agents, while components are for W engines. If you're wondering where to get the Ascension materials for the Bangboos, well, you can find them in 141 convenience store. So these are what the Bangboo Ascension materials look like. They look the same, but with different. Make note that when you buy Bangboo Ascension materials from 141 convenience store, you are not buying with Denny's, you are buying the Ascension materials with the experience materials for the Bangboos that you obtain from the Hollows. So keep them in mind when you're purchasing Bangboo Ascension materials, because if you get too many, then you'll run out of Bangboo experience material to level up your Bangboo to even be able to use the Bangboo Ascension material. And that, my friends, concludes the comprehensive, generalized introduction of Zenless Zone Zero to beginners. Hopefully you find this guide useful, and if not, at least hopefully you found it entertaining. Either way, thank you guys so much for watching my video. If you want to see me live doing some silly shenanigans on stream, feel free to check out my Twitch channel, twitch.tv/GeForceFilipino, or subscribe to my YouTube channel, GVP Gameplays, which is the channel that you're watching this video on. Anyway, other than that, thank you guys so much and have a wonderful day.